Hey everybody, LioConvoy here as usual. You're probably looking at this wondering why there is a Darkwing-Duck head on top of this Transformer body. And I will explain that, however, I feel the need to preface this with a bit of background here. On my Patreon, I have two patrons that pay higher tiers, and as such, it gets them free commissions every month. Those two patrons are Mega Umi and Harry Partridge. Harry, when I asked him what he would like for this month, told me that he wanted me to draw an OC I had created. Well, unfortunately, I don't create OCs. It's not my thing. It never really has been. So instead, he asked me to draw a childhood favorite toy. And that's when my mind sprang to this. Now, some background on this thing that you see that I am coloring in currently. When I was younger, in 1990, my family moved to Norfolk, Virginia. Specifically to the Navy housing there, because my old man was in the Navy. Now, that house had a bunch of... I know some people here aren't believers. I'm a Christian myself. But this house had a bunch of demonic activity in it. And maybe one day I'll talk about that on this channel. We'll see a little bit to the end of this video. We'll discuss that. But what happened was the preacher of the church that we were beginning to be part of from moving there had come over to visit, and as such he had brought some gifts for the children. He brought my brother and I 2 Transformers, and my sister got a My Little Pony toy. Now, my brother got G1 Horrible, which is a fantastic name, and I got G1 Fangry. Now, I wasn't as aware of Transformers in all the different forms and characters then as I am now. So I wasn't aware that Fangry was a headmaster, meaning that either a little humanoid or a little robot becomes the head of the giant robot itself. So I pulled out the figure, I pulled out his shield and his gun, and the rest of it went in the trash, and I had no idea until later. I thought maybe the head was just stuck in the chest somewhere because I was a dumb kid. Now, for those of you wondering what My Little Pony my sister got, I have no idea, and I don't care, and I doubt she remembers too, and I'm not about to call her now at 11 o'clock at night to ask her about a toy from almost 30 years ago, so you'll have to forgive me on that one, bronies. Now, moving forward, a few years later, Darkwing-Duck hit the airwaves, and it was my favorite show. And one birthday, I got the Darkwing-Duck action figure from Playmates, and it was my favorite toy. However, one day, I got mad at it, and I don't know why. I don't know the specifics. It's been so long. And I left him in the backyard. A couple days later, I was running around the house trying to figure out where my Darkwing-Duck toy was, because I wanted to play with it. So I go outside, and I find out my neighbor had accidentally ran it over with his lawnmower. And the pieces of Darkwing-Duck were sitting by the tree, because that's where he put them after he ran it over by accident. So the only part that was really completely salvageable was his head. Still had the hat. Hat was intact. His beak was cut off, and, well, you're not going to see that in this image simply because, well, it would be very distasteful. But I was devastated, as kids are when their favorite toy is destroyed, especially due to negligence. And if I recall correctly, this is the last time I ever really did a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Careless activity with a toy. Because I knew without question that was my fault. I shouldn't have left it outside. But after mulling it over a bit, I remembered Fangry was around somewhere, right? So I grabbed Fangry, I take the Darkwing-Duck head, and I shove his neck right down into the headmaster slot. And it fit. It was not the best of fits, and it looked horrifying, but it worked. And Darkwing-Duck had a body again. And nobody beat him, because he is Darkwing-Mecha-Duck. And you do not beat Darkwing-Mecha-Duck. At least not to a young LioConvoy, at least. So, years later, of course, I met somebody in Florida after I moved there that was very kind and actually gave me his Darkwing-Duck action figure that he no longer wanted. And I still have it to this day. It's actually downstairs right now with my Transformers, ironically enough. So, That's why you have a Transformer with a Darkwing Duck head that you're looking at right now. Because of foolish decisions when I was a kid they wound up leading into very odd choices. But if I sound a little bit tired or stuttery, it's because this is not scripted. Again, doing this at 11 o'clock at night. But I feel like this is one of those pieces that, despite the fact that Patreon doesn't guarantee a speed paint, this needed to have the story told to completely grasp why it exists. I know I draw really weird things all the time, but this needed an explanation. And I think I at least owed that to Harry, because I think he'd appreciate it. So, Harry, I hope you like this story. To my other viewers and patrons that might be listening in, if you're interested, feel free to click on the link in the description. It takes you to my Patreon. However, want to let you guys know, I am planning on more Thundercats-related stuff. Since I'm the only person doing Thundercat stuff, I will be doing more reviews, more thoughts on animation, story, all that type of stuff in the near future. Channel's certainly not going anywhere after I've reached 1,000 subscribers. I'm doing a collab with Retro Blasting a little bit later this year on Thundercats, of all things. And if you guys want to hear any stories about the crap I went through as a kid with all that demonic stuff, let me know. Maybe I'll do some illustrated stories here on the channel for you. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Take care.